even though he's not a big sort of tough guy, he's got a very big, strong heart.
And I think after this movie, it's going to be very, very cool. I'm going to be a very cool cousin and uncle.
You get to be an audience member and watch it, and it sort of far surpasses anything you could ever have imagined.
Gandalf has that fantastic line. It's the thing that you hoped for that you feared would never come, and there it is.
魔幻史诗巨制《霍比特人：五军之战》1月23日加入内地贺岁档，终结霍比特人系列3部曲，也为长达17年的中土之旅画上句号。比尔博·马丁·弗瑞曼、精灵王子奥兰多·布鲁姆、矮人王理查德·阿米蒂奇、精灵王里佩斯，将迎来勇气与荣辱的最后考验。五军之战一触即发。临别的故事将如何展开？17年的收官之作，主创们又感怀怎样的中土时光？时光网独家专访众位主演，揭秘霍比特人五军之战的银幕看点，听他们分享传奇落幕的不舍之情。
Well, at the beginning of the film, actually, he's sort of achieved everything that he set out to achieve. You know, he's reclaimed the kingdom. The gold is within his control. The dragon has gone, and beyond that, he couldn't care less about everybody else outside the mountain. And the closer he gets to the gold, and you can't get much closer than standing in a sea of gold up to your neck, it sort of has an effect on him which he's seen his grandfather go through. It's a dragon sickness. It's a disease of the mind. It manifests itself in paranoia and a kind of irrationality where he blocks out everything that he recognizes and loses himself completely.
When we join Bilbo, he's watching Lake Town being destroyed by the dragon Smaug. Something weird is happening to Thorin because he's getting this gold sickness because he's back at Erebor. Bilbo also knows he has this secret piece of jewellery that Thorin really wants and that he doesn't quite know what to do with because he doesn't quite understand its power. So yeah, Bilbo is being pulled... So Bilbo is being pulled in all kinds of directions, yeah.
As we watch Thorin kind of descending and being physically pulled down by the gold and metaphorically kind of drowned in his own greed, it's the isolation that I find the biggest lesson. The fact that he cuts off his friends, he cuts off the voices of reason, and the only person left is Bilbo Baggins. And right at the end, that's severed, and he is completely alone. Even from the words of his best friend and his first lieutenant, Dwalin, he's gone. And the things that pull him back are at that moment when he is about to succumb to it, and he's about to drown. And the voices and the voice of reason, which is primarily Bilbo and Dwalin, that you do not recognize what you have become. And he hears the dragon, he feels the dragon, and that's the moment that he returns.
Bilbo is right. You cannot see what you have become. Everything I did for them.
Absolutely. Bilbo tries to do his best UN ambassador thing by averting battle. He doesn't succeed, as we see in the title of the film, but he's torn, you know, because he has loyalty to Thorin. You know, he really does care about Thorin. He's seeing this friend of his change beyond all recognition, and he's willing to kind of stick his feet in the ground so far. He'll go to war over this stone that Bilbo knows he has. So he doesn't know what to do, and he does the only thing that he thinks he can do, which is kind of use it as a bartering tool to stop war, which is an honourable decision, although it doesn't work. Well, you know, while Bilbo isn't the best fighter, he's got a warrior's heart, and he's, you know, even though he's not a big sort of tough guy, he's got a very big, strong heart, apparently, so I've heard.
It's a very interesting journey. I mean, from a lowly bargeman to the leader of the human army. I mean, it's quite a track, and he takes it. I mean, and he doesn't take it because he thinks he's the man. He thinks he's the. It's not important to him. It's just all eyes are on him at that moment, and they want answers, and they need somebody to lead them. And he doesn't know where he's going to lead them, but he just takes the role and deals with it. And But the main objective in his life is to protect his kids, and I guess that's what he does, and he does it very successfully. Most young kids who know The Hobbit are very overwhelmed when they meet me, and I think after this movie it's going to be very, very cool. I'm going to be a very cool cousin and uncle.
The story in this movie is a lot about love. It's about unrequited love. It's about I play a character with what do you say? I've got no love.
He's
in
an
my
inaccessible
heart.
dad.
He's a cold-hearted boop. He's kind of into me. I'm kind of into him, but then there's a bit of a confusion because a fairly tall, handsome dwarf walks into our lives and just upsets the balance, and
Well,
everything
when we say
goes
tall,
awry.
you mean dwarf tall.
Yeah, exactly. Let's
Right.
not
Let's
get
not
carried away.
Let's not get carried away.
This
Yeah,
guy's
you know what I
still
mean? That's still
very
like
short and
4
hairy.
foot something. Yeah,
Yeah.
very hairy.
kind of cute.
But nevertheless, he does
He's
capture her
kinda
heart and
cute.
mind over Leggy. I think that
How
the
is that possible?
How is that possible?
Can anything capture a woman's heart and mind over Leggy?
Unbelievable, really, isn't it?
Every girl in China is asking themselves that question. What?
Well, I'm going to go to China and answer it.
Dwarf
for you.
over a not impossible.
I have to say that the relationship between them is I think a very profound one, and I think that like they would have grown up. You know, it's sort of like the girl from the wrong side of the tracks. And in a way, she's put under his charge, and so I think there is naturally and they're put in some pretty perilous situations. So there is this feeling of kinship and of I must protect and I must save and I must help, and then I think that probably develops into something that wouldn't necessarily be anything that could happen.
And working on the action scenes on this movie is some of my favorite stuff. We've got an incredible stunt team that I really found that I learned who my character was working out these fight sequences. Because Thranduil is one of the legendary fighters in Middle-earth. He's fought dragons. He's fought in the great battles. And this Battle of Five Armies is one of the historic battles of Middle-earth. It's such a surprise to come to find yourself. You know, you shoot this stuff on a green screen, and I watched the movie back, and you know, suddenly there's like a great big hill streaming with orcs and a dwarven army right over here. And
That certainly weren't there on the soundstage.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean I sort of had a sort of elven assault course in front of me, all green or blue, depending on. No, it was green mostly. And you know, I knew that I was going to be stabbing my white knife into the head of this giant goblin, and then sort of moving the goblin around is what had been described as. But I didn't know how that was going to turn out until I see the film, because that's the genius of Pete, and you get to be an audience member and watch it, and it sort of far surpasses anything you could ever have imagined.
And because Tauriel was doing all hand-to-hand combat, I actually didn't have that experience. I was there with men, and I was fighting them, and they were in orc suits, and that was fun, because I actually got to do what, you know, it felt a little bit more real to really engage with stuntmen and fight them.
I think part of Bilbo's function in the film, and so, you know, in Tolkien's book as well, is I always feel is to be the reader's or the audience's eye in the story. And very often I think we look to Bilbo as an audience for what our reaction is supposed to be in a funny way. He almost tells us what was going on. He's almost acts as the chorus, I think, you know. Even though he's not sort of speaking to the audience, I think he's most directly the one nearest an audience member in the film. And some of that is about kind of pricking the pomposity of these bigger epic characters who are, you know, more manly and more heroic and all of that. And Bilbo just has a great way of cutting through all of that and telling the truth, you know. Even when he's dissembling, he's being sort of honest about it. So I like that very much about Bilbo.
It was such a big moment for me, and I literally didn't sink in till I think I got off the plane in New Zealand, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm actually playing Bard the Bowman, you know. And it definitely has helped my career without a doubt. And I learnt an awful lot, and I got to work with an amazing director who's on my bucket list. So I just wish that I could relive that year. It feels like it went so fast, so fast. It's such a shame. I wish I'd thought about it a bit more. I did think about it. I loved every minute of it, but it just went. It's gone, and I can't get it back. Damn it.
It's very narcissistic to be moved by your own performance, but the sense of... I've always been moved by courage rather than pathos, and I feel like when you see somebody return like that, and when they come out of the mountain and they charge into battle, and you know that they will fight to their death, I just think there's something in the spirit that lifts, and Gandalf has that fantastic line which he says they're rallying to their king, and it's the thing that you hoped for but you feared would never come, and there it is. And as a bloke, we kind of well up. It's like running down the pitch to score the goal at the World Cup, isn't it? You know, there's that moment you go, oh, it's going to happen.
To these memories I will hold, with your blessing I will go, to turn at last to paths that lead home. And oh, where the road then takes me, I cannot tell. We came all this way, but now comes the day to bid you farewell.
Bilbo in the third film, he is watching Lake Town being destroyed by Smaug. He's also aware that Thorin is coming over a little queer. Huh? No, that's valid. That's legit. Thorin is coming over a little queer, and I'm not even anywhere near him. That was okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, I will. And check this. This is acting. Okay.
Can you stop the tape?
Very excited.
We are.
Are we rolling?
Yeah.
We're rolling.
Guys, have I got to?
Let's see. Oh, it's back there.